Hello, this video is introduction to rational exponents. Rational means ratio, so that means our exponent is going to be a fraction. But before we do the rational exponents, let's look at the regular exponents, whole numbers, and remind ourselves what those rules are, because those rules are exactly the same for whole numbers as they are for rational exponents. So on the left side, we have the whole numbers. If we have the same base and we're multiplying, we add the powers. No matter what those powers are, whole numbers or fractions, we still add them. So here on the right is an example with rational exponents, and we follow exactly the same rule as we did before. The only difference is now when we're adding fractions, we have to be sure that the denominators, the bottom numbers, are the same before we add them. So let's find the common denominator between the 2/3 and 3/2. So we're adding the powers, but since we're adding fractional powers, we have to follow the rules for the fractions. So the common denominator between 2 and 3 is a number that goes in, that can be divided by both, which is 6. So if we turn each one into 6 by multiplying the first one by 2 and the second by 3, we will get 3 to the power 4 6 plus 9 6, which is 3 to the power 13 6. And that would be the final answer. If we need to write it differently, we can use the fractional powers are also known as roots. So when we look at our exponent 13 6, the bottom number is the root number and the top number is the exponent number or the power. So we can change our answer, if we wanted to, into the 6th root of 3 to the power 13, and that could be the answer using roots. Now, most of the time, when the root number is less than the power inside, we are asked to simplify further by removing as many 3's out of the radical as possible. Now, to do this, we can follow a procedure of division. So if we divide 13 by 6, we get 6 goes into 13 twice, and the remainder is 1. Well, the whole part is the outside power, and the remainder is the inside power. So we can change our final answer as 3, the outside power is 2, and then 6th root of 3 to the 1, which means 9 6th roots of 3. And oftentimes we will be asked to change our final answer into radicals using this procedure. That's the two main differences between the whole exponents and the rational exponents, is that when we add in the rational exponents, we have to be mindful of the fractions of the denominators, and then oftentimes we have to turn the answer back into the roots. So that's the first property, is multiplying with the same basis. The second property is dividing. So if we have the same base and we divide, we subtract the powers, and no matter what those powers are. So the same here, the same base, we minus the exponents, and that would make 3 to the power 3/2 minus 2/3, the same common denominator of 6 times 3 times 2. Now that makes 3 to the power 9 6 minus 4 6, which makes 3 to the power 5 6, and that's the final answer. If we wanted to write it with radicals, the root number is 6 and the exponent is 5, and the exponent is less than the root number, so there is nothing else to simplify. The next rule is the multiplication. When we're multiplying something, exponent with is in parentheses, and then there is another power on the outside, that means that we have 3 to the 2 4 times, and that just means we have 2 of the 3's here and we have them 4 times, that means we have 8 3's. Or simply just multiplying the power will give us the same result. And that works no matter what the exponents are. So here we have 3/2 times 2/3 and 3/2 times 2/3 cancel off because they give you 6 over 6. 6 over 6 is 1. And anything to the 1 is itself. So our answer is 3. The next rule is just for the exponents specific exponents. If you have 3 to the 1, anything to the 1 is itself. If you have 3 to the 0, that's 1. Anything to the 0 is 1. And the last rule is the negative rule. So if you have 3 to the negative power, that's the same as 1 over that same item to the positive power. And no matter what that power is, bringing it on the bottom changes the sign. So when we have a fraction and we move something from the bottom up, it changes sign. From top to bottom, it changes sign. So in our example here, we have 1 divided by 3 to the power 2/3. And we can leave it that way, or we can change it to the roots and have 1 over cube root of 3 squared, which is cube root of 9. And that's it for this answer. And that's basically the rules of rational exponents. And in the different video, we'll look at how to simplify them. If you have any questions, please let me know. And thank you for your time.